Oh no, I don't have side tensioners today. And the sides of my fabric in my scroll is really floppy. Now, what do I do? Well, let's find out.
NeedleBugg, NeedleBugg. NeedleBugg, NeedleBugg. If you're perplexed by stitching mysteries, stick around, there's something here for you. Getting old is not for sissies, so Karen's focusing on something new. Learn a little, stay a little, stitch a little, love a little. Learn a little, stay a little, stitch a little, love a little.
Well, good morning, my friends. How many times have you had fabric in a scroll frame and you go to stitch and the sides are really floppy? You can't get it tight. And you don't have those side tensioners, or you didn't make your own side tensioners like some people do. Well, I'm here today to show you what you can do instead. So let's take a look. First of all, you need a needle and some thread. This happens to be crocheting thread, knit crocheting. You need something that's a little stronger, and you thread it in your needle. And from there, I'm going to show you how. Okay, here we go. So we have our needle, we have our thread, and we have our floppy sides. So now what? Okay, let's do this. First of all, we're going to take this thread and we're going to tie a loop. Okay, just make a loop, and we're going to put it over that wing nut. Okay, now you may want to tie it again so that you have a bit of a, so that it holds and it's not going to come undone, because we don't want to do all of this and then have it undone. Now, I will tell you before we go too far, the only thing with this method is when you have to roll your scroll to a new area, you will have to redo this. Okay, just like your side tensioners, you have to take them off. So, let's see. Can I do it? Yep, I can do it this way. Okay, so once it's on there, and you can see I can pull on that and it's not really going to go anywhere, we are going to go up over our sidebar, and we're going to go. Now, first of all, some people sew an extra piece of fabric on here to help protect the edge a little bit. So they would put it on almost like you would do a, you would almost double it like you would be putting on some bias tape. But it's not necessary. I've not ever done it that way, and it's been perfectly fine. So we're going to go down through the fabric and go in. Let's zoom you in here a little bit. There we go. Go in from the edge, and we're going to pull that through, actually, and then a little bit further away, come up through the fabric and pull all of that without getting a tangled mess. Pull all of that through. Okay, so this time, instead of going over, I'm going to go, when, you know what, I'm starting this over. I'm going to edit this part. I went the wrong direction first, so that is a mistake. We'll put the bloopers at the end. Okay. First off, you're going to go under your sidebar and come up. Okay. You're going to go over in your fabric, bring your needle up over the sidebar. Okay. And sometimes it helps if you kind of do this over the edge of your table. You're going to go under, come up again. And this, you can pull it tight, but we're going to pull it tighter in a few minutes after we get this all okay. Every other one is going to go up over. So it's an over-under deal. Okay. Oh, I keep going the wrong way. Sorry about that. It's going to go over. And this is going to go under and come up. And this is why you make a long thread, because this does take a pretty decent amount of pearl cotton. Now this last one is going to go over. And then what we will do after we get this all tightened is we will tie it around this one. Now, as you can see, that already pulled this pretty tight. But just to make sure, if you have an awl or something that you can use to pull, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the end of my scissors here. I wouldn't recommend that, but I would use something that is straight. And you're going to pull, and you're going to hold that way. So you see I have all this excess down here. So I'm going to go to the next one and pull all that extra through and hold that there. And then to the next one and pull all that excess through and hold that there. Now, yes, it does pull into your fabric, and that's why some people sew an extra piece. But do you see here all the extra thread that has come? All right, so then I'm going to go to this last one and pull and see how nice and drum tight that gets. So now what you want to do is work this, oh geez, there we go. Work this around your wing nut. And I'm going to cut this a little shorter because that's like a whole bunches and bunches of thread. And that's pretty tight. So I'm going to cut this off. Okay. And then I'm going to loop it under. And that whole time we're keeping this tension as tight as we can on here. And I'm going to loop it and I'm going to tighten it up and do that again. And tighten it up. Okay, so you see how much tighter that made our fabric. Okay, so once you have one side done, you just flip it around and you do the same thing on the other side. So let's have a gander at that. And I certainly did make this way, way longer than I needed. So let's cut some of this off so it's not so challenging to work with. All right, so once again, you're going to make your loop. just gonna tie a little. Okay. You're gonna put that over your wing nut, and you're gonna tie it once again, just so that it's secure and doesn't come off. Okay. And then you're gonna start. So the first one is going to go under, because like I said, we want that second one to be on the top so that we have something to pull, and we have this sidebar to assist us. So we're going to go a bit away and go down, and then we're going to come up over the sidebar, and we're going to go under, come up, we're going to go down and come up over the sidebar. Okay. And we're going to go up and over, and I'm gonna move some. I see I cut a little bit too much off now. Okay, over, and then we're going to come up, and the last one will be down and over, and then I'm just going to wrap it around once just to hold it there, and then I'm going to go back to my first side, and I'm going to use something that you can just run along, and even if you have a laying tool, that works good, and hold it down. So do you see already how much excess we have there, so that we can get it really tight? And go to the next one and pull, and see how now we have even more excess. Okay, go to the third one, pull it through. Okay, even more excess. So your excess increases as we go down the line. And then we go to the last one, pull it through. Okay, oh, I always go the wrong. And now as it's pulled through, we're gonna just wrap that around. Wrap that around our wing nut. And then we're going to, I find this a little easier to do it this way. Just gonna go here and do a bit of a knot, and you will, when you go to take these off, you will have to cut it to get it off from around the wing nut, but that's, you know, pretty easy done deal. And there you go. So now we have both sides laced. Let me zoom out here again. Now we have both sides laced. This is drum tight. Okay, so everything is tight and ready to be stitched upon. Yes, I was messing around here a little bit. So, but that's how you can lace your fabric onto your scroll frame so that your fabric is on there very tight, and you can go about your stitching. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to have a cat here that is going to come and visit in a moment. He's coming up on the table. I hope you found that helpful, and I hope you will have some productive stitching and the whole 9 yards. So until next time, if you don't have side tensioners, Place your fabric on your scroll frame. And as always, remember, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones you make for yourself.